I believe life is a journey, and it is such that obstacles will always be on the way to our various destinations. However, a few bad chapters does not mean your story is over. We shouldn't let our bad days trick us into believing we have a bad life. And as I always say, this is a place of peace and healing through talk. My name is Maria Chike Benjamin, and I am your host. Joining us on today's episode to share her beautiful healing story is no other but the beautiful Womiye. Thank you so much, Womiye, for coming on the show. It's such a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Could you please share your amazing story?
Well, I'm not sure where to start from, but I'm a very happy person, but I wear a lot of masks.
Like we all do.
Yeah, and well, my dad is a retired diplomat, so we moved around a lot. He had taken one of my cousins along, and he was like 10, 11, I'm not even sure how old, older than me.
Yeah.
So we were posted to Switzerland, and when you think Switzerland, you think peace and neutral country and harmony, but mine was just really attached with a lot of trauma because I was 7 when he first raped me. And
who's he?
My cousin.
Okay.
Yes. So my uncle's son, whom we
that's your dad's brother?
My dad's brother, okay. Yes. My dad's brother's son. And I was 7, and it's so weird because I actually remember the first time it happened.
So this was in Switzerland?
This was in Switzerland, okay. Yes. And it was more so him just holding me down, making sure like I couldn't talk, and him threatening me and saying, if you talk, if you tell anyone, I'll kill your dad, I'll kill mommy, I'll kill daddy. You can't tell anybody. And this went on like every other night for as long as I can remember, for 4 years. And, I lived a life of basically night and day.
Of course.
Because at night,
scared.
Just
knowing what's coming for
exactly.
you at night.
I knew something was going to happen, but I didn't know it was bad.
Okay.
I didn't know it was wrong.
You were a child, 7 years old.
I was 7. I didn't know it was wrong. Until I guess one day, I think I was watching a movie, and I had seen something. I'd seen a movie depicting children telling their parents and everyone crying, and I was like, oh, okay, something is wrong with what's happening. And I would cry at night, but in the morning, I'd smile and I'll wake up and I'll be like, hi, everybody, and then go to school and everyone's happy. So I was the happy child, and I was the happiest child. Okay. So
no one actually suspected,
Exactly, nobody did, because I was such a great actress, so she's probably even in Hollywood. But I'll just smile through it and just be like, hi, everybody, yeah. So I was a happy child, and I didn't tell anybody until, I think the first time I told a family member was my sister, and I was...
So what made you, how old were you, first of all? How old were you when you first told your sister?
I was 26.
Wow. Okay, so from 7 to 26, you kept this whole huge burden.
I didn't tell anybody.
What actually made you speak out?
I had gone for my PhD, and I was alone.
Okay.
And you know what they say about an idle mind is the devil's workshop.
Of course, yeah.
And even though I had a lot of books to read, I was still by myself. I was physically lonely.
During those ages, were you, did you have boyfriends? How was your social life?
I had a mask.
Okay.
So everyone thought I was okay.
But you were not.
I never had any intimate relationships. Okay. I wasn't interested at all.
Okay.
I recognized the male gender, and these are attractive people, or females are also attractive people, but I wasn't interested in anything intimate or physical. And more so because of my background we had a very spiritual Christian background.
Right.
So that had a huge role to play.
Strict.
So I just always knew that wait till marriage before you decide to give yourself to a man. But at the same time, I was conflicted, and I would talk to really random people. Like when the internet just blew up, I remember I had an online friend from Egypt. And I had told him
a lot of stuff about
what happened to me, and we were so close, and he was really helping me out.
They always say our strangers are more or less our
Exactly.
best friends.
I was so close to him until the thing in Cairo happened. But yeah, I didn't tell my sister until 26, and the reason why I told her was because it was the day before my birthday, and I hated myself, and I hated my body, and I was so irritated. And I would cut myself, and I felt like it was good what I was doing because I would tell myself I was worthless. I would tell myself, you don't deserve to be happy. And so I would just cut, and I would actually take pictures of my arm, and I'll take pictures of the blood, and I'm like, this skin has been damaged. And so I told myself that a lot, like, you're damaged now, you're damaged goods, you know.
Any friends or like people around you like noticed that you had cuts, wounds, all of that?
So my classmates noticed, and they noticed that I wasn't coming to class. And so they called the cops, and they came to my apartment, and they didn't see me in the act, but they knew that something was wrong. And I was actually in therapy at the time, so they contacted my doctor.
You were already in therapy?
Yes, I was in therapy. I knew something was off. So they contacted my doctor, and I went to the hospital, and they wanted to commit me. And they were like, no phones. And I'm like, no, I can't do that. And thank God, I had a godsend doctor who talked to me, who was Black American, and he was like, we don't do this. Black people don't do this. And I was like, okay. And he talked to me like a brother.
This was where now? What
in the hospital.
This is now in America?
Yes.
So during your stay in Switzerland, from there, your family moved over to America, or just yourself?
No, just me.
Okay.
Because my dad's a diplomat, so we moved from place to place.
Okay.
So from Switzerland, we moved somewhere else, and then somewhere else.
Right.
After that, I started speaking up about it. I told my sister, I told my best friends.
Okay.
Everybody just broke down. It was really hard for me to talk about it. In fact,
Did you tell your parents?
I didn't tell my parents until my sister told my parents.
Right.
Because my sister lived, she didn't live with us. And so I told her, and she reached out to my cousin to like lambaste him, like,
oh, the actual.
Yes, the perpetrator.
Okay.
And she was like, how dare you do this? We did you a favor by taking you along with us. You're just an evil, you're a monster, you're this. And he denied it. And he said, I don't know what you're talking about. This never happened.
Like I was doing.
Yeah. And in the moment, I was happy that he said that. Because I was like...
You felt like, oh, I've been hallucinating all this while.
Exactly. Yeah. I was like, oh, well, thank God that didn't happen. It was like a 4-year nightmare.
Right.
Until 2 weeks later, he came back and he said, I am very sorry. This should not have happened.
He came to you?
No, he sent an email. God, no.
Okay.
He sent an email to my sister to say, can I have her number? Let me apologize to her. And my sister was like, hell no, you're not going close to my sister anymore. Nothing like that. So my sister came, she told my parents, and it was a crazy day. I'll never forget that day. My mom just sat down and she was like, I thought you were the happiest child.
Of course.
And I'm like, well, no, this is who I am. This is my truth. So I didn't, even after that, it was really hard for me to tell people. And I had always wanted to start an NGO to help other girls because my aim was like, I want to be the person that I didn't have as a girl.
Yeah.
For someone to say, what happened was not your fault.
100%.
What happened should not have happened.
And it's
it was
not your story,
right.
It's not the end of you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It doesn't define who you are. Because for me, it defined who I was. I was not just a rape victim. I was damaged goods.
No, you're not.
That's what I used to describe myself. I'm like, and I lost so much weight that period. Yes, I lost like 30 pounds. I wasn't eating. And those were the psychological effects. I would disassociate as a child.
Wow.
I'm literally sitting with you like this.
And
I'm not there. It was so bad that my teacher was calling me a banje.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't know what was happening. I was like, okay, maybe I am.
No.
Because I actually lost a sister. Yeah. So I was like, okay, maybe I am a bunch of. I just knew something was wrong. And then I would see my period for like 2 months. Every day I would bleed. I would have to.
And this is probably, did you speak to your mom about your periods and stuff?
Afterwards, yes.
Okay.
And she correlates it with what happened.
Okay, most probably. I don't know. Medically.
I think so.
Not sure.
But she did, and I'm sorry. Hold on.
What would you say was mostly something that got you through? Obviously, you felt, I don't think you are, I think you're a very beautiful soul, but you felt like you always say, oh, you felt you were damaged goods or, you know, your skin, which isn't the case whatsoever. But what was it that kept motivating you through your struggles, through your downtime? I mean, a lot of people out there are probably going through exactly the same thing.
Oh yeah, definitely. The importance of a support system cannot be overemphasized.
Not at all.
Having the right people around you. It doesn't mean family, not necessarily. It just means who are your core people.
Yeah.
Who are your people that when you say, oh, this is what happened to me, they're not going to abandon you.
100%.
They're going to be there for you to help you grow.
Yeah.
So that was it for me, my support system. My sister,
Good.
both my sisters, my 2 best friends, and I'm saying this in order.
That's amazing.
In order of which I told them, and they, you know, they helped me. My 2 best friends, Kechi and Yimi, and my mom, my dad, and then my brothers.
Amazing.
I was able to talk to them and tell them, and each time I shared my story,
It always make you feel
like a whole load would just come off me, and I feel stronger, more empowered.
Because you're not what happened to you.
Exactly.
You know?
I'm not what happened.
No.
I mean,
and it's not your fault.
It's not my fault. And so that really helped. I mean, I'm definitely here by the grace of God because I am a Christian, and all the suicidal attempts they were successful because of God.
You're a survivor. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a celebrity guest, Osas, in the building. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Yeah.
It's an honor, and we appreciate your appearance. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Wow. All I can say right now is God bless you. God protect who you are and what you've evolved to be. My thing in life is to just be the best person that I can be so that I can be an inspiration just by being me. And I'm grateful, you know, that I was able to be or, you know, be an inspiration. But you're the inspiration.
Yeah.
A lot of people hold masks, like you said earlier, but the fact that you've bared it all, you've become brave, you are the inspiration. And I just want to say thank you. I didn't know what to expect today, you know, in terms of the story that I was going to hear. But thank you. Thank you for being brave. Thank you for telling your story. Thank you for opening up and allowing so many people to be inspired to be their best selves. Thank you. I know it's not easy. And I know you know, we all go through so much.
We don't talk about.
We don't talk about it all. So many people, even just in Nigeria, you know, so many people hold so much on their shoulders.
We're ashamed.
And, you know, anything can trigger it. You know, just look at traffic, for instance. You're in traffic. If you like look at somebody the wrong way, like somebody wants to fight you, because so it's not just that act, but it's what people are holding on to, what they have within themselves. So the fact that you are so brave to be here on this show to showcase healing and showcase bravery, you are the inspiration, and I'm so grateful.
So this is the end of today's episode, Healing with Maria. I just want people to know that you are not what has happened to you, and you are not what people think you are. Please, again, this platform is all about being the voice to the voiceless. If you have your stories, share with us, and we can always help with your healing process. Thank you so much.